से जले हृदय की जो धर्म के ये तीन स्तंभ मोक्ष धाम के हे प्रभु हृदय में ज्ञान का प्रकाश दे। हे प्रभु हृदय में ज्ञान का प्रकाश दे। श्रवण मनन निधि ध्यासन जीवन का है ध्येय। श्रवण मनन निधि ध्यासन जीवन का है ध्येय। मिल जाए ब्रह्म रत्न लागे ये जग है। मिल जाए ब्रह्म रत्न लागे ये जग है। रत्न धरता परमेश्वर बल समर्थ दे। हे प्रभु हृदय में ज्ञान का प्रकाश दे। हे प्रभु हृदय में ज्ञान का प्रकाश दे। ब्रह्म प्राप्ति रूप सर्वश्रेष्ठ रत्न दे। हे प्रभु हृदय में ज्ञान का प्रकाश दे। हे प्रभु हृदय में ज्ञान का प्रकाश दे।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verses 1 to 10.
ॐ अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच अभद्रतां स्वयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आजवम् अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागः शान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वम् मार्दवम् ह्रीरचापलम् तेजक्षमा धृतिः शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदम् दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानम् चाभिजातस्य पार्थ सम्पदमासुरीम् दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धायासुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदम् दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्तः आसुरम् पार्थ मे शृणु प्रवृत्तिम् च निवृत्तिम् च जना न विदुरासुराः न शौचम् नापि चाचारः न सत्यम् तेषु विद्यते असत्यमप्रतिष्ठम् ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतम् किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एताम् दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरम् दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः
So we have been studying about the Asuric nature. What is the Asuric nature? Firstly, these people don't know what to do and what not to do. This is a very, very common thing. Like, for instance, people are just sort of developing what is today called a political correctness. So if a woman says something, then you can't say anything. You can't say anything against a woman. No matter how badly she is behaving, you can't say anything against, which is a wrong way of looking at it. You know, the idea of feminism should always be that men and women, you ignore the fact whether it's a man or a woman and you deal with the person in front of you. That should be the real feminism. But now we've gone to the other, we could go to the other extreme. We go to one extreme of saying men do no wrong, and then we go to the other extreme of saying women do no wrong. So in every little thing, we have a very, very odd way of looking at it. So they take up climate change. Then you will go to one extreme and say there's no such thing. Or you go to the other extreme and you say, okay, stop all development. I mean, now that you have got all you need, don't let anyone else get what they need. So So just know what should be done, what should not be done, what what is the right action given these circumstances is a very important aspect of living life correctly. And when you don't live life correctly, you're an asura. It's that simple. If you do it correctly, you're divine, and if you do it incorrectly, you're asura. So, so when you do it correctly, you're divine. And when you do it incorrectly, you're asuric. It's quite simple, really. It's there's not no rocket science involved here. So what is the first characteristic? They don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Even sometimes when you look after a physically challenged person, you can look after that person, but in such a way that you make the person feel down. Then that's not useful. Or you do diversity hires in such a way that the poor person who got hired in that diversity hire is, always looked down upon, that you don't deserve to be here. You're just a diversity hire. So everything you can get wrong. So first thing about the Asuric is they don't know action from inaction. Then they don't know what is purity. Sorry, nowadays in class there's way too many interruptions. We must be doing class properly because all the Asuras are coming in and surrounding us. So there's no purity. Purity we have studied in deep detail so far. What is purity? Everyone knows it, right? Please tell me quickly.
Purity at all levels of the personality,
Mhm.
mental, emotional, and the ultimate purity is removing of asanas.
Okay, but go.
Environmental,
Material, physical, emotional,
emotional,
intellectual, and
and spiritual.
spiritual. So you have purity at all the levels of the personality. Deepraj, you have a question?
Yeah, so is it not that the asuras, while not being while being impure, also misunderstand what purity is? Like they will think things to be pure when they're actually not pure. Like um, like a common thing was the caste discrimination, where they thought that the presence of a lower caste person actually disrupted the purity of the place or what.
That will come in the first point, where we
The
mentioned from
yeah the
inaction.
acha, that will come in the first part. Okay, okay.
And also this point is there is no purity found in them. So what is that supposed to mean? That means you don't understand what purity is, because how will you have purity unless you understand it? So yes, what you're saying is included, but it doesn't need to be further. You don't, if you know the 5 levels of purity, if you know them, then you'll do it. Or you won't misunderstand it. But you're right, it is included. They don't understand what is good conduct. The what is the right achar, vyavhar? You may have the best of intentions, but the way you execute things, like how do you speak to an elderly person? How do you speak to a person of in authority? How do you speak to a child? How do you conduct yourself with your staff? Proper, proper achar, proper vyavhar is proper behavior in the circumstance. What in today's world, they say read the room. You understand what the situation is before you start making comments or executing actions. There are some people who just don't know what it means to read the room. They'll go on a shok shaba and start cracking jokes. But you may not be under shok, but that person is. So there's neither purity, nor good conduct, nor truth. Truth is the integration of the mind and intellect. What in common parlance they say your thought, word, and deed have to be the same thing. You can't think something, say another thing, and then do a fourth thing. Like normal staff. They tell you I'm coming in the morning at 10 o'clock. Then they don't come, or they come at 1 o'clock. This is asuric behavior. We also do that. We say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Say you're going to do, but what you do is something else. So truth means the integration of the mind and intellect. That means your thought, word, deed are in the same way. You don't say, oh, I love Vedanta, I think it's the most important thing. That's what you say. What you do is everything other than Vedanta. And what you think is that you're very smart. So that is not a life of truth. What you say, what you do, there has to be an integration of it. If you claim X is important, then what are you doing for X? Whatever that X be. So on 15th August and 26th January, what all we say, what all we feel also. On that day, suddenly we are all very patriotic. Rest of the time, gone. So, Deepraj?
Just to add to the point, even on the day that we claim to love our country, we take these flags, and at the end of the day, we just throw them anywhere. It's hypocrisy of the highest order.
Yeah. Same thing for Ganesha. See all the murtis just thrown around on the beach. So, yes, so thought, word, and deed have to be in the same line. So, the demoniac people do not know action from inaction. Basically, when you say I don't know action from inaction, means you don't have an intellect. Remember, we studied the what is intellect? Discrimination. So when is your discrimination play? It can be before the action. That means you can see well into the future. You can anticipate everything. Only when the situation comes, we start thinking about it. Even the most common planning for an event, nobody will think, okay, what needs to happen at that event? Okay, when that event starts, only everybody says, oh my God, this has to be done. But why now? We know, right? Like, for instance, we know already that we will be organizing a yajna next year. We already know this. So why wouldn't we be planned for it from now? We already know that we're going to start a course in June on the campus. Why wouldn't we be planned for it right now? So you see, most people, when they have an event, everybody is just fumbling around the place. Even when you go to public events, they're fumbling. Have you noticed that? Like, not just personal events like a Vishadi and all, those complete chaos, but even on a public stage, people are saying, oh, what is happening now? Who is coming now? Oh, abhi aap nahi aa rahe ho. Kya chal kya raha hai? Keep your back office in your back office. When you present your face to the public, it has to be your front-facing face, not all your back planning, whatever you did or didn't do. Say, oh, we should have done this. Please don't explain to the audience. They're not interested. So, smart intellect anticipates. Common intellect at that time, it says, oh my God, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. Lower quality, after the event, they say, oh, I should have done that. And lowest quality intellect, even after the event, they have no idea what should have happened. So, knowing action from inaction means having a buddhi, an intellect, and discrimination. And a good discrimination always is predictive, anticipatory. Even the lawyers say, I'll take anticipatory bail because they know that you're going to put their client in jail. So they go and do anticipatory bail. Because some intellect develops when you study law. Look forward, look ahead. If I do this, what will happen? That has to happen then. Therefore, what has to happen now? That is called an intellect. Right.
Janki ji,
Yeah.
even we seem to be excelling in not being punctual anywhere,
Very good.
whether
Yes.
it's on a public stage or a speaker, the ministers, whoever. They think it's a prerogative to come late. I don't see why they think that way.
You just studied why they think like that.
Yeah, your book.
No, you're only. Yeah, Surik don't know what should be done and what should not be done. Don't make a commitment if you cannot keep it. Don't say you'll do it if you're not going to do it. If you say you're going to do it, do it. This is called responsibility, right? That's why that was Rama's quality. Not Rama's quality, the whole Kula's quality. Raghukula Reet Sada Chali Ai, Prana Jai Para Vachana Na Jai. So it means that you have thought before you spoke. And if you didn't, God help you. You think before you commit. So don't commit too much. Think before you commit. And if you commit, then you're committed. Come what may, come hell or high water. That is what Ram Avatar teaches us. So, yes, correct. Anticipate. If I say this, if I commit this, these are all the things I will be required to do. Am I ready and willing to do these things? Otherwise, don't commit. So, the best intellect anticipates. The second quality of intellect at that time realizes, oh my God, I should have done this. Can you believe it? At the best quality intellect, it will start at 11 o'clock. It will say, oh, 1 o'clock is coming. I will start making lunch. Second quality intellect, at 1 o'clock will say, oh my God, I haven't made lunch yet. Quickly, let me make lunch. Third quality intellect is 1 o'clock has come and gone. It is 2 o'clock. And the person realizes, oh my God, I should have made lunch. And fourth quality intellect doesn't realize only that no lunch has been made. So 4 quality intellects. Now, because intellect quality is coming down so much, you will notice that something has risen a lot. It's called Swiggy and Zomato. Because when you realize, oh my God, I should have made lunch and I haven't, then quick, Swiggy kar lo usko. 2 baje Swiggy kar rahe hain. So, even if you want to eat your lunch at 1 o'clock, at least you must Swiggy at 12:15. Itna to karo. So, anticipation is intellect. Yes, Aditi.
Jankiji, the same intellect in certain aspects will be predictive, but the same will not be predictive in certain other aspects. So is it got to do with the desire or in the area where the focus is, or is it just, so how would you exactly know that the intellect is developed, or is it the desire towards that particular
Percentage.
percentage in the sense?
How many actions have
Of
come from that? Remember, what was it in And how do you know what you know? Where was it? In the epilogue, I think it says, how do you gauge the quality of the intellect? That,
Janki ji, I haven't done how do you know what you know?
oh, okay. Deepraj can tell us. Somewhere in the epilogue, it talks about that. That eventually the whole point of the intellect is to choose your action. That's the bottom line, right? That's what your intellect is supposed to do. So how do you know that your intellect is good? So first and foremost, that how much have you anticipated something? Secondly, in how many areas do you do this? Thirdly, how quickly do you do it? And fourthly, because suppose now you remember that example, a man at 25 starts thinking, shall I get married or not? Now he's become 55. He's still thinking, shall I get married or not? Okay, so how quickly do you do it? Thinking, puri zindagi gayi. What are you thinking so much? And then fourth one is, in how many actions do you do all this?
That
So
really
what
helps.
percentage? Yeah, what percentage of actions are you employing all this? That will tell you the degree of intellect. Only 1% of actions if I'm doing it, then intellect 1%. 70% I'm doing it, 70% of the time I do this, 70%. So
So
what
it's a,
percentage of actions?
so it might be a good idea to choose the areas and then just assess where the intellect and then actually get a whole picture of where the intellect really stands. Does that help or not really? Just keep doing, just keep doing your three
What is the
yogas.
point? Yeah,
Yeah.
what is the point? Okay, so you know. So then now what you're going to do about it?
Yeah.
The same thing which you're going to do without knowing, right?
Yes.
So what's the point?
Maybe just to probably see, look back when or you'll still get it any which ways when you look back.
Yeah, but what's the point? The point of this whole thing is your life is getting better and better. If your life is getting better, you've done it.
Right. Okay, thank you. This really helps. Thank you.
Right. Verse 8.
So the word truth also is covered, right, in this. The point of truth that he says that they lack truth also as the last point. So
That we did. No, truth is the integration of the mind and intellect.
okay. So they are in harmony. There is no conflict.
Yeah. Thought, word, and deed are in the same line. You don't say, I value X, work for Y, and value X, praise Y, and do Z.
Okay. Thank you.
So what is it, according to you, which is the most valuable? And are you working in that direction? Speaking and working in that direction. Verse 8. असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतम् किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतम् किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम्. All throughout this chapter, you have heard about how he just goes down to, I mean, I can't imagine anyone making it simpler than this. First, he told us in the last verse, he just told us in the general sense. Now he's figured out that we can't even understand that. So now listen to what he says here. He is telling us what they say. They ahuhu. This is how they speak. This is what they say. And you'll be shocked to hear, you will hear people say this. What is it they ahuhu? They say. What is it they say? Asatyam. this world is not based on any reality or any truth. Apratishta. There is no foundation here. Jagat Anishwaram. This world has no Lord. Then how does this world come about? Aparas para sambhutam. Two things get together, and that's creation. Very simple. There's a mother, there's a father, there's a child born. What's your problem? It's born of mutual union. Why does the mutual union take place? Kama hetukam. Only because of karma, only because of lust. That is its hetu, that is its purpose. Kama hetukam. The world view of this person is a very narrow worldview. Now, he could have told you it's a very narrow worldview, but he's told you what he says, and you will recognize it in what people tell you. There is no truth here. It also works as, oh, goodness never works over here. ये पूरी की पूरी दुनिया crooked ही है. So asatyam, it has no reality. Is there any truth? Is there any basis, any foundation? No, there isn't. Jagat Anishwaram. There is no Ishwar, there is no Lord, there is no ordainer over here. I can't seem to see that there is a law of causation. So how can you say there's no order? There is an order, right? Every time you put your hand in the fire, it's going to burn you. So there's no Lord. If there's nothing governing this, if there's no law of causation, how do you get the same result each time? But they don't see that. They say, Jagat Anishwara. Anishwara. Ishwara, you understand, Lord. Anishwaram means without the Lord. Anishwaram. Even this is okay. Hello, this is your belief, fine, no problem. You know what is the real killer in this verse? It is that one thing that actually makes it an asuric statement. And that is Kimanyat. Kimanyat. Kimanyat means what else? What else means that it doesn't. Your view, however logical or reasonable or anything, simply doesn't count. Kimanyat. I am telling you, this is the final truth. What else? This kind of fanaticism, this kind of close-mindedness is the crux of this verse. That is why the great Josh Billings has said, the trouble with most folks is not so much their ignorance, but their knowing so many things, which ain't so. The problem is not that we don't know. The problem is that we know things which ain't so. We're so convinced about something that is simply not true. Nobody thinks to themselves, I think this, is it true? When you cannot ask yourself this question, that's the asuric tendency. Kimanyat. What else? This is it. I'm telling you. This degree of tamas is at the essence of the asuric behavior. A wise person, even when he knows, will tell you with humility. An asuric person, even if he doesn't know, he will tell you with arrogance. Yes, Deepraj.
So first I was trying to understand the argument of the Asura, but as you said, it's like Kimanyat, like he doesn't actually have an argument. He's just dismissive. So
That's
he could have as well said anything else before that Kimanyat. It is that he's just stubborn and he's set in his belief. Is it correct that that's the crux
correct.
of this? Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
crux of it is how is his utter close-mindedness to anything else. Like
So
he
it
was like,
actually doesn't matter what he says about, there is reality, there is not reality. None of this actually matters because the point is that he's close-minded.
yes. But most people who are like this also have these views. But they have no reason for these views. They say, वो दिख रहा है ना, जो है तो दिख रहा है. What is your problem? You can see father and the mother make a child. What is your problem? So, Kimanyat, what else is that? When Galileo said that we are a heliocentric universe and not a geocentric one, that means we go around the sun doesn't go around us. People said, you're so stupid, can't you use your own eyes? The whole book, How Do You Know What You Know, is based on this general idea that we are so sure about what we know and we have no real reason to think so. There was a man, John. He thought he was an ant. So he went to the doctor, to the psychiatrist. His family took him to the psychiatrist. So then many months the psychiatrist worked on him and he explained to him, you're not an ant, you're a human being. And see, a human being, you have the X, Y, Z, and an ant is, ABC, and you're X, Y, Z, you're not ABC. For 1 year, 6 months, he explained to him. And finally, John started getting it. Oh, I see, I'm a human being, I'm not an ant. And then the psychiatrist was satisfied that John is cured. Now he no longer thinks he's an ant. So he said, okay, this is our last session, and now we are done. So John said, okay, doctor, thank you very much. I'm really grateful for you teaching me this, and now goodbye. And he left. Then he came back after a minute and he said, doctor, but I still have one doubt. You have so well explained to me that I am a human being, not an ant. But I have a doubt. Do the chicken know this? So when you are, the chicken found out, rather, I know I'm a human, that chicken will come and bite me, then what will happen? So I understand that our belief in our understanding is so misplaced, let us say. And it's very difficult to shake that concept. No psychiatrist, no, nothing can shake it. You shake it yourself, or it stays unshaken. Because without reality. What is reality? That which stays the same in all periods of time. So they say there is no such thing which stays the same in all periods of time.
So, Janki ji, so this is the same as fanaticism?
Yes. Yes, it is the same. You can be fanatical about anything. Even if you say, my God is the only true God, then you're still in Kimanyat. What else? Nobody else's God counts, only my God counts. Now, when you say that, you basically, what have you even thought this thing through? Since you've not thought it through, you can be fanatical about it. So yes, fanatical is correct. Mahesh?
So just carrying on what Deepraj said, since he said that it is what is, so the Charvaks don't believe in any god or any other reality except material, but they have arguments for it. So do they fall yet as asuric, or they are sort of uh, not in that classified, not classified as such?
You can't classify them. You can classify a person in it. How open is he to discuss this and see it further? That's how the classification comes. No, you can't say the whole lot are tamasic.
No,
The Charvaks are usually not interested in discussing anything with you because their aim is go out and enjoy. If you're not enjoying, why are you doing whatever you're doing? But the Sushikshit Charvak, they are the more philosophical variety, and they may be open in their discussion or they may not. If they are open in their discussion, they won't follow you.
okay, thank you.
Bharat?
Yeah, so to take a broad view of this, they are basically opposed to any opinion which they don't agree with, right? Close-minded to any opinion.
Correct.
Isn't restricted to the reality only.
No, I don't know what you mean by that, but if you're not willing to take any other opinion, that means you are not accepting any reality. What I say is the truth. See, if there is a reality, then there is something for us to debate because neither you nor I know the reality. But if there's nothing to debate, that means whatever I say is reality. That means no reality. If what I say is reality, then somebody else will say what I say is reality. So no reality. That's how it works. Without foundation, without reality, without foundation means you can take it in the ultimate sense of there is no God or there's no substratum to this world. Or you can even take it in the sense there's no foundation to that belief. On what basis have you come to this belief? Is there a basis at all? So all of this works together.
Okay, thank you.
Meera?
So any strong belief that one has on any topic, with or without a foundation, without a foundation, I would say, would be fanatic, right? Anything.
Right.
And foundation, if it is with a foundation and you can't really prove it, but you have a strong belief that it is right.
No, then how do you have a foundation? You have to have thought it through, no, to have a foundation.
Mm.
Have you considered all the pros and cons? Have you considered alternative theories for the explanation of those events?
Mhm, mm.
Have you explored other theories and rejected them? Or have you just heard of one, believed it, and that's the truth?
Okay.
Foundation is necessary. This is
And
the
a-
relative level.
And analysis. You should analyze it yourself before believing anything.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is
Hmm.
your foundation, what is your foundation? On what basis?
Hmm.
May not be your personal analysis.
Hmm.
When, for instance, you take your doctor tells you to take an antibiotic, you have not analyzed whether that antibiotic is good for you, but you have accepted it. What is your foundation for that? That you have been to an authoritative source and the authoritative source has said so. That's your foundation. Remember, there are 4 ways of determining whether something has foundation or not.
Yeah, but the belief of the doctor also, the foundation on the basis of which that you're taking those medicines
Hmm.
may, okay, primarily he's a doctor, you assume that he's good at his
No,
job.
why? All doctors are not equally good.
Okay, so that's where I'm coming. So when that happens, your foundation is kind
No.
of shaken, right?
Why? I mean, you've been with that happens means what happens? You've been with this doctor for 30 years. Out of those 30 years, he has cured you. Out of the 30 ailments you went to him from, he's cured you of 25. So you assume that, yeah, he's reasonably good. I should follow him. I mean, you're not just following him because he's put an MBBS degree there. You have sufficient reason to believe that he can cure you.
But there are chances that your foundation can be interrupted.
No, you already know that he'll be right 80% of the time. That means 20%
Okay.
of the time you'll be wrong.
Okay.
So you got to find a doctor who's at least 80-90% of the time right. That's your best case scenario.
So no blind belief. 80% chance, 20%. You will have to
Now,
leave
the
it
better
to.
the person who you're
Hmm.
taking guidance from, the higher the probability of it being correct.
Okay.
And nobody's going to be 100% right. That's just an impossible thing.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. No one can be 100% right. Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we must be able to identify those people who are more right than us when we are taking advice.
Thank you, Janki.
So you see, he's actually gone down to say, they are who, they say. And you will hear people talk like this. अरे छोड़ो इन सब चीजों में क्या रखा है. Various permutation and combination of these words you will hear. Anyway, he's just beginning. He's going to tell you then what happens. What is the consequence? And he'll tell you more of how they speak. And what is the consequence of all this kind of talk? All this talk in ignorance. What is the consequence? Verse 9. Etam drushtimavashtabhyah nashtatmanolpabuddhayah prabhavantyugrakarmanah shayaya jagato hitaha etam drushtimavashtabhyah nashtatmanolpabuddhayah prabhavantyugrakarmanah shayaya jagato hitaha. What is the consequence of having these kind of views? Etam drushtim means having this kind of view, these kind of opinions. Avashtabhya. Avashtabhya means having held, holding these kind of views. Nashtatmanaha. Alpabuddhayah. These ruined souls of Alpa Buddhi. Alpa means small, very small intellect. What happens to them? Ugra karmanaha prabhavanti. Ugra karmanaha. The smaller the buddhi, the more ugra karmana. Ugra karmana means fierce deeds, violent deeds, horrible deeds. The smaller the intellect, the worse, the more horrible is the deed the person will perform. So these ruined souls, nashtat manaha alpa buddhayah, these ruined souls with a small intellect, they come forth, they perform ugra karmanaha, horrible, terrible deeds. Shayaya jagata, for the destruction of this world. They are its enemies. Ahita. Just think about all these things, How true is this? The smaller the intellect, the worse the destruction you're capable of doing. Think of a small child, okay? A small child who is 2 years old. Alpa buddhi, right? How much destruction that child is capable of. I'll go and write on the wall, and then you have to paint the wall, and 10,000 you have to spend. So, where is it coming from? Is it that these people these children are just such horrible things? It's not that children are horrible things. It is that the small, the worse the deeds. Now, who are you going to hate? Ahitaha means it translates in English as enemies. But what is the beauty of the English language? Who's your enemy? One who doesn't, जो आपका हित नहीं चाहता. So ahitaha, right? So doesn't wish your welfare. So these people with small intellects who are not wishing the welfare of the world, what is a spiritual sadhak? One who wishes the welfare of the world. These small intellects are not able to wish the welfare of the world. End result is the destruction they can cause. Why is climate change happening? Why are wars happening? Why are families breaking? Alpa buddhaya. Alpa buddhi, small buddhi. Now what shall we do? Shall we call them, oh, these are horrible asuric people? Or shall we say they are just children? Just don't understand anything. Don't understand basis, don't understand consequences. करे जा रहे हैं कुछ ना कुछ. You see, one way of looking at it is to say they are asuric, which is true. One way of looking at it is they are balaha, they are children, which is also true. Basically, it's just alpa buddhi. They themselves are destroyed and they'll destroy everything around. Examples from the Shastras, you have any amount. You have Ravana, alpa buddhaya, Duryodhana, Hiranyakashipu. Any amount you can have. In today's world also you can have any amount. Imagine Hitler. What amount of destruction he can cause? Alpa buddhi. Now some people say, no, Hitler was a very intelligent man. Hello, we don't accept that as intelligent. Buddhi helps you choose action. When you are choosing the wrong action, don't tell me how intelligent you are. That's a bit pointless. So, at least I hope from this verse you get the cause and effect relationship. When there is a small intellect, you create ugra karmana. Like, crazy deeds. Which you see every time you open the newspaper and you see some idiot has done some nonsensical thing. Remember this verse. Nashtatmana, alpa buddhaya, ugra karmana, shayaya, jagata hitaha. Shayaya means for the sake of destruction. They may not even be trying to destroy the world. That's just what happens. Oh, I saw there was a question. Can you please read the question? Because there's something wrong. I don't know how to see it over here. How do you see it over here?
The question is by Prakash's iPhone. Can we say Alpa Buddhi is equal to petty kindness or lack of intellect?
Petty kindness. What is petty kindness? Petty
Petty-mindedness.
minded. Okay. Petty minded. Okay. It's the same thing, no? Petty minded and alpa buddhi is the same thing. In English, the word mind is usually used to mean intellect. Is often used to mean intellect. In English, as we talk, we don't really differentiate between mind and intellect. Like you say, he has a very sharp mind. You mean intellect. His mind is out of control. You mean mind, as Vedanta says, the man. So in English, the same word is used in common conversation for both mind and intellect. So petty-minded and alpa buddhi is the same thing. Yes, Aditi?
Janki ji, when you say you can either call them children or call them asuric people, has that got to do, the thinking got to do, if you think of them as children, got to do with lesser level of agitation when you think that way? Is it that's the reason we think of them as children?
We think of them as children because they are children.
Versus if you think of them as terrorists or asuric people, it gets more personal and agitations. Versus just now that I thought when you said children, it just kind of reduces the whole thing of it. It becomes more objective. Is that the reason why we use the word children or
The
any?
reason we use the word is because it's true.
Okay.
Otherwise, we don't do it just as a psychological thing. But it is true that children, like, that's why the first example was a child.
But then
Leave
how would
a
you
child
relate
alone.
asuric and child? If they're not the same thing, right?
They are the same thing. That's the whole point. Children are terrible asuras. Can you leave a 2-3 year old child alone at home by themselves?
No.
If you don't have supervision of that child, you don't know what that child will do. So this thing, alpa buddhi, small child, small buddhi. But you are saying, no, a child and asura is different. Asura is a horrible guy. Child is so cute. No. Actually, they're the same. The reason you're finding the child cute is because you have grown up from the level of the child. And you're finding the asura not so cute because you have not grown above him. Means you're not sufficiently grown above him. Obviously, you're better than him, but you're not sufficiently. Now, a child, you will never get into competition. If the child burns up your thing, you will not get angry with the child. You will say, I've been an idiot for keeping it. This is how you'll talk. If the child in a lift, suppose you're going down the lift and the child meets you and says, Aditi auntie, I don't like your glasses. Then you'll say, oh, so cute you are. Right? But if a lady, a full grown lady says, Aditi, your glasses are horrible, then what will you say? How dare you talk to me like that? Look at your own glasses. What kind of glasses do you have? You'll get into that. But with a child, you will not get involved. So therefore, our attitude when we say child or asura is different. Because child we've outgrown, we find them cute, even if they do the maddest things. They say, so cute, na, shaitan bachcha hai. Don't we say shaitan hai, ye pura shaitan hai. We calling the children asuras.
Yeah, true. Yeah, thank you.
So that alpa buddhi, the more our buddhi grows, the more you realize that these people are, I mean, nothing wrong with them, but buddhi is so little now. They are as helpless as anyone else. Yes, Deepraj?
How can we call them Alpa Buddhi when the type of things that they do is like next level? I mean, think about the sort of inventions that were made specifically because of war, specifically to torture other groups of human beings. You look at Japan, like during the war, Japan made so many technological advancements and it captured so many and they tortured and killed so many other groups of people. So how can we call them Alpa Buddhi?
Because that is what it is.
Janki ji, just now you said, give an example of Hitler. The same thing.
That is where he is telling us, no? Nashtatmano alpabuddhayah prabhavanti ugrakarmanah. Ugrakarmanah prabhavanti.
But at least if we compare them, say there are two people, one wants world domination, but doesn't have the brains to figure out how to do it. The other one wants world domination and has the brains to figure out how to do it. Both of them have the same target, but one obviously has better intellect than the other.
Of course. So one child is very dumb and manages to destroy the house because he's dumb. The other child is very smart, but because of his smartness, he destroys the house. What have we got to choose between these two? Both we put in the same category. We means Krishna is putting. I have no view on this matter. I am only suggesting this. I'm not suggesting, I'm reading what he has said. That's why I do the Sanskrit. Nashtatmana. That means the ruined person. ये तो उसका नष्ट हो गया है या दूसरों को नष्ट कर रहा है. Whichever one you want to do. Then alpabuddhayah ugrakarmanah. Alpabuddhayah ugrakarmanah. Same guy. And you find this is true. They're so mad that they do the maddest things. Why are you going to Japan? Think of businessmen today. They want to make money. They will release all the, what is it called? Effluents into the rivers. All the dirty smoke into the sky. Alpa buddhi ugra karmana. Now these guys have done this madhouse. That means you and I are not going to even get water to drink, which is good, which is drinkable. We won't get potable water in some time. Potable water will become the what should I say, privilege of the rich. Ugra karmana, what are you doing? You have lost it.
So even if they are doing what they think is development and innovation, because their intellect isn't developed enough to look at the repercussions of their actions, we categorize them as alpabuddhi.
Yeah, I mean, not we categorize them. We already defined, no, what buddhi is. Your book, please go read again. What determines whether you have a, because Deepraj has done a full study of how do you know what you know. So number one, read, open the, you have the book, open that epilogue portion, I think it's epilogue, and see all the what is required for you to say you have a buddhi.
Areas covered, time covered, speed, and understanding.
If all of these things you don't have, what buddhi are you talking about? Alpa buddhi. What areas covered means how many things, okay, this will get me profit, but what other things will happen, I'm not able to see. End result is there somewhere a tsunami, somewhere the glaciers are melting, somewhere whole world is being destroyed. मैं ये बोल रहा है, I'm making lot of money. Yeah, पैसों के साथ करोगे क्या? When the tsunami comes, will you hold up your bank balance and say, tsunami, look how much money I have? What are you going to do with your money when this whole thing falls apart? So that's called alpa.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yes, Bharat?
Yeah, I mean, to carry on the same point, so being unaware of the karmic backlash would also fall into this.
Yeah, karmic backlash, you can say. Other effects of your action, you can say, whichever one works. So when you do an action, it has effects at multiple levels. Any action has an effect at multiple levels. How many levels are you able to see? There'll be a material level, physical level, emotional level, intellectual level, spiritual level. Effect is going to take place on all levels, right? So how many are you able to see? So you can say it karmic or you can say effects. Both mean the same thing. Okay, so that's it. So please see, he's going to, of course, explain it a lot more in detail, and I hope it becomes clear how the small buddhi is the problem, is the only problem that exists in the world. Otherwise, why are we breaking our head trying to put up Vedanta University instead of sitting at home quietly and having a good time? Jayashree is running for your pillar to post tomorrow. She's going to Taloja. Nobody has even heard of Taloja. She has now got to go over there somehow and get something done. But no one works so hard. Because there's only one problem in this world, absence of buddhi. And there's only one solution. Put the buddhi there. Only one problem and one solution. Let's see if we can do anything about it.
जानकी जी बुद्धि नहीं ये भी मालूम नहीं ये दूसरा प्रॉब्लम है
Yes, that is the first problem of the buddhi. When you don't have a buddhi, how will you know you don't have a buddhi? That's the first problem. But even if a few people learn, they will take care of the whole world. Then you needn't worry. So that's it for today. Then, as every time, it is Sunday, so let me give you the good news that is going on. You know what all is happening, right? One cabin is already up. Cabins 2 and 3 are being put up. I think they must have years. Cabins 2 and 3 being put up. These are going to eventually become cottages. These are your cabins number 2 and 3. And oh, this is an older photograph and they are cleaning out the land. So much growth after the monsoons. And then you have to wait till it dries, otherwise it will grow again. So 10 labor on the ground cleaning this place up. And then what's happening? Okay, these are the washrooms next to the office and library. They have now acquired doors, which means now we can at least use them when we go there, hopefully. Then what else have we done? All the painting and the furniture, of course, will come last. So when you're seeing all this, it's quite messy. So don't say nothing has happened. Things are happening. And well, it's almost there. And I don't know if you all know, but on 23rd is Vasant Panchami. So we think it's Saraswati Pujan Day. So it's a great day for us to, for first time, do something to do with knowledge on the plot. So this is a heads up for all of you, those who are in Mumbai, those who are not in Mumbai. 23rd January, we plan to do something on the plot. So keep yourself free and come and join us. If you have any ideas, suggestions for that day, please get in touch with us, tell us. And let us see, we've got 1 month. Let's see how much more will be done. I think the cabins will be up. I believe some of the furniture is going to be done. But everything over here is all Ram Bharose. So we don't know how much will actually get done. But we will go there and have a good time and see the place. Okay, so that's it for today. Hari Om.
Thank you,
Hari Om,
Janki ji.
Janki
Hari
ji.
Om,
Hari
Janki
Om.
ji.
Thank you, Janki ji.
Hari Om, Janki ji. Thank you.
Hariam Janki ji.